Hello, I'm Don Brown, and I'm a former U.S. Navy JAG officer where I served as a military prosecutor, a special assistant to the United States Attorney for the Southern District of California, and an administrative action officer at the Pentagon where I authored legal opinions for the Secretary of the Navy. I'm also the author of the book Call Sign Extortion 17, The Shootdown of SEAL Team 6, and am co-producer of the film documentary Fallen Angel, the cover-up of the shootdown of SEAL Team 6. I was given a copy of a 1,200-page report from the military, which I call the Colt Report, which had been classified and then was declassified, and gave us more information than we've ever seen concerning this shootdown. And as I went through the report, frankly, I was shocked. I came to the conclusion that 30 Americans, primarily U.S. Navy SEALs from SEAL Team 6, the same SEAL team that had taken out Osama bin Laden 97 days earlier, had lost their lives unnecessarily and frankly appeared to have been sacrificed on the altar of political correctness. As I went through this information and conducted my investigation from the Colt Report and other sources, 6 areas of concern came to mind that are covered in my book and that will be hit upon even in more detail with this documentary that we're now producing. Let me take a moment to share those with you. The first and perhaps the most disturbing issue that comes to mind involves rules of engagement. Now, traditionally, our military has always been able to protect itself if we are in imminent danger and we're about to be fired upon, or if there are hostile forces about to take us out. That's happened all throughout history. At Normandy, we saw the shelling of the French coast before our forces went in. At Iwo Jima, even if you remember the first Persian Gulf War with the air war, for 3 days before we started Operation Desert Storm, we have always cleared the landing zone before we put forces in hostile areas.
30 millimeters, we got 4 individuals, got a whole bunch of guys right there maneuvering, we'll be engaging. Roger, back here up to 30. Just give me a heads up where you're in from.
But for whatever reason, now 97 days after bin Laden has been taken out, the rules have changed. This SEAL team flies into a hot zone about 2:29 a.m. in the morning in Afghanistan. Other aircraft circling overhead, watching this old Army Chinook fly with the SEAL team to the landing zone, sees Taliban moving to the landing zone with RPGs. We had a United States Air Force AC-130 request permission to take Taliban out. It was denied permission. And these Taliban forces, who had already threatened to shoot down a SEAL team to retaliate against the bin Laden mission, were able to move into the landing zone. And as the SEALs helicopter came in within 100 to 150 feet off the ground, the Taliban fired an RPG 3 times at the SEALs chopper, hit it in the back blade, took it out, and killed all 30 Americans. That is absolutely inexcusable. The U.S. Air Force AC-130 requested permission to take out the Taliban and was denied repeatedly. We know that in the 97 days beforehand, the Taliban had moved fighters in here for the purpose of taking out a SEAL team. And we also know, inexplicably, that 8 unidentified Afghans jumped on the SEALs helicopter in the moments before it took off. We don't know who they were. All this was covered up in the final military report. We know there was a question about the helicopter's black box. We sent in 20 U.S. Army Pathfinders to try to find that black box. It was gone. And finally, there were bullets in the bodies, which were thrown away by the military pathologists. We ask that you would join us in a crusade for truth, to bring attention and to bring the light of truth and to shed light on what happened to these 30 Americans. They were the finest that we had to offer. They deserve to have their memories honored by ensuring that these foolish rules of engagements are never put into place again. Please join us in this film, Fallen Angel, so that we can bring the light of truth and to save other Americans who fight in harm's way for our freedom in the future. Thank you, and God bless America.